Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Watkins family. Okay, yes, I'm in my pink robe, and why do you ask? Am I in a robe? Okay. Well, for work, first of all, I'm in my craft room. Now, I already told y'all that if I'm in my craft room, most likely I'm trying to relax, chillax, get away from children, and just woos out for a minute. So most likely you will see me in a robe. I hope that doesn't offend you. If it does, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, yes, I have on clothes underneath my robe. This is a shirt that I have on for today. Okay, now this robe is one that I'm actually in the middle of making. You see the ends? So I wanted to try it on. I was just at my sewing table, but I wanted to try it on and see how it was going to fit. See if I like it, see if I'm cool with the fit. Do I like the belt? All that good stuff. So that is why I'm sitting here in my pink robe. But even if I wasn't making it, I probably still would be in a robe because that's just me. That's Monique. Okay, that's me. Now, the reason why I am coming to y'all right now is because my craft room was invaded. My peace was disturbed. Not really. My peace wasn't really disturbed. I love my babies. But all my girls, most of my girls, 3 of my girls out of the 4. Yes, I have 4 daughters. Lord help me. I have 4 daughters. 3 of my 4 daughters decided to come in here when they saw I was having some mommy time to myself and decided they were going to paint. So I'll insert a little quick something so y'all can see that.
Yep. They found their way in.
Yeah, so that was what was going on with that. But I really wanted to come on right now since I'm sitting in my craft room and I'm watching TD Jakes right now and just grateful. I'm thankful. I'm here. I'm alive. I'm well. God is good. He loves me. And he cares about what I care about, right? And so I really wanted to just come on here because I am sitting in my prayer, okay? I'm sitting in my prayer. Now, what is my prayer, you ask? This house was my prayer, literally. This house right here, months before I got the house. So let me tell you about the testimony of us getting this house, okay? Now, sorry, I'll keep moving you around trying to find, my lighting's okay. Now this is itching me because I got some pins back here. Anyhow, so as you know, or I don't know, you can go and check out my house tour, my empty house tour. We've been in this house now for about 2 years. 2 years. Coming up on 2 years actually, because this is October, November. I think we moved in last 2018, November of 2018. Now, I love model homes. I love to walk through, when they do open houses. I just love anything dealing with walking through the home, checking out the decor, checking out the furniture, checking out all of the different trims, crown molding, recessed lighting, tray ceilings, you name it, I'm there. I love it. Okay. I love it. And so because of that, I think I got that itch from growing up where I did. All the houses looked different. There weren't 2 that looked alike. In the little town I would consider like my hometown because that's where I spent the bulk of my time as a child. All the houses were different. Everything was different. I could literally get on my beach cruiser and just ride around the whole little town on my beach cruiser and just look at all the houses. I used to love just looking at all the houses, okay? And so that's what I did. I spent a lot of my time doing that. Now, because of that, and then my friends having really nice, elaborate homes and me be able to go in and look at all of the furniture and how it's laid out and what style was it in. Is it Art Deco? Is it English? Is it country? Is it whatever, new, whatever, all of the different ins and outs of decor. So I love decor. I love architecture. I love just the feeling of home and all of that type, all that sort of jazz. And so what I did is from time to time, at the time when we weren't actually looking to buy a home. We were actually renting, and I was actually pretty comfortable in the home that I was in, to be honest. If we were renting, I was like, until we buy, we're going to be right here because I really like that house, and I didn't think that I would find another house that I would like more than that one. I just didn't think it was possible because that one was the biggest floor plan really in the area. There was like one house that was bigger than that. It was like, and so I was pretty satisfied with it. And we had been there for about 3 or 4 years. And so I was like, yeah, this is good. I'm cool with this until we buy our own. Okay. Now, even though I was fine and comfortable and all of that good stuff, I still would always from time to time look online to see what houses were available, how much they cost, where were they located, what was the going price, if the price dropped, just because curiosity, and that's just something I like to do. Also, all my girls like to go look at model homes too. So if there were some model homes that just popped up in the area, we would go and tour those and check those out. My girls love model homes. They love it. So it would be kind of like our after school thing or a Saturday thing. We'd make one day a week to where we'd go and check out different model homes. And so I didn't feel like getting up and going that day. I was kind of under the weather. And so I was like, I'm just going to go online on Zillow. I'm just going to type in, some stuff that I would like to have, like dream stuff I would like to have, and see what pops up. Because I would also look at mansions and estate sales and just everything dealing with homes. I would also look in different states, towns, cities, all that good stuff. So this time I said, well, let me just search the area and see what's out there. Let's see what's out there. And so I typed in a couple of criteria that I would like if I was buying a home. Mind you, I wasn't buying a home. And started hunting and searching and looking. Now, I came across this house where it was confusing. I was looking through the pictures and the pictures were not lining up to me. And those of you that seen my empty house video, you will understand the courtyard that's in the middle of a home. Well, in these pictures that I was looking at, you could not see that. There was no aerial view. You just saw all these pictures and like it wasn't making sense. Like I was trying to piece together the floor plan in my mind, and none of it was at all making sense to me because I could not figure out. First of all, it's a 2-story, but it looks like a 1-story, and there's this little like patio thing in the middle somewhere in the house. But I'm looking at the front door, so I don't see it. So it's not on the front, and it's not in the backyard because I see the picture of the whole backyard, and it's not back there. So where it's not on the sides of the house. I see the side pictures of the house. Where is this little patio? There's no gate. There's no door. It bothered me. It bothered me so much. So I looked up the address, realized the house was literally 4 or 5 blocks away from where I lived. I got in my car and drove around right over here. But it wasn't this exact house, but it was this exact house. Same exact layout, but around the corner. So I got in my car, drove around the corner, and I sat outside that house, looking on my phone at the pictures, looking at the house, looking at the pictures, looking at the house. Still wasn't satisfied because it was not making sense to me. Got out of the car, looking like a creeper now, because now I'm creeping around the house on both sides, trying to figure out where is this door that leads to this little secret garden, because the front door looks like a front door, like the door you walk into the house. I had no idea that you walk into the house and then it was in the middle of the house. I never guessed that. From the outside, the house doesn't even look like a 2-story house, really. Doesn't even look that big. Square footage and all that, it doesn't. If you go look at that video, I'm gonna link it in this video so you could see. It does not. Now, you guys know that because of the aerial view that I show in the picture of the house. But if I wasn't to show that, you would be like, where is this courtyard coming from? Okay. So I sit there, I look at the pictures, beautiful home. Again, I look at it, I walk around, walk back and forth, notice people are watching me. I get back in my car. Now I'm really looking like a creeper. And I just sit there looking at the pictures for a while, listening to, I think I was listening to Joe Austin. Probably Joe Austin. That's who I usually listen to when I drive with the kids, because I had the girls in the car. And I finally said, man, that's a really nice house. And this is what I said out of my mouth. And I quote, this is not the first time I've said stuff like this, because, I believe God can do all things. I don't limit him. I don't put no limits on him. So I know I'm limited, but he's not. So I don't put limitations on him. I looked at the price. The price was close to, good 500,000, 5 something. It was up there. And I was like, man, this is a really, really nice house. And I said, and I quote, well, God, I really like this house, I would love to see how it looks in the inside because I can't figure it out. But man, I pray one day you bless me with a house like this. That's what I said. Started my car, went home. Okay. 5 months later, all of a sudden, the owner of the house we're renting decides out of nowhere that he needs to move back in to his house, right? Now we have to move. So I'm upset. I'm about to enter into the finals period of school. I was in school, going to school for audio technology, audio engineering, and finals were starting to come upon us. And I'm like, this is the most busiest time of the year for me as a student. And now I have to pack a whole 5-bedroom, 5-bath home and move to God knows where, okay, with 3 little kids and a teenager, okay? And so I'm not gonna lie, I was hot. I was upset because I'm like, there's no other, because I already knew. I've already looked at thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of homes, and I already knew that I wasn't going to find one better than the one that we were in that I liked. There was only, remember I told you, there's only one model in all of this area that's bigger than the one we were in. Maybe 2 at the most, but I mean one major model. And none of those were for rent. So I started looking for things for rent immediately because I'm like, well, there's no point in me stalling. Let's start looking now. So we start looking, and while I was looking at the prices of renting. And it seems like in the last 4 years at that time, the prices just, I mean, they were high already, but they went through the roof. And I said, for this price, we could be paying a mortgage, right? I mean, we're basically paying someone's mortgage anyway, but we could be paying our own mortgage for this price. But, you know, we were still working on some things with our credit and all of that. And I said, you know, I told my husband, I really don't feel that God wants us to keep renting. I don't. I think we need to go ahead and buckle down and see if we can't get a house for ourselves. You know, my husband was in the military, so we could use the GI Bill and all that sort of stuff. And he said, you know, I don't know, because we haven't really saved up for this. The finances are a little bit this, you know. And I said, you know what? Let's just go for it. Let's just go for it. What's the worst that can happen? They can say no, right? No, you can't have a house. Well, then that means we're right back where we are right now, looking for somewhere to rent. But if there's a yes, you know, you never know what he'll do. Just ask him. Just ask him. Just ask him. And so I said, well, I'm just going to step out on faith on this. I'm going to pray about it. We're going to try to do the best we can with the whole financial thing, with the credit thing, with all that other stuff. We're going to have to, you know, wing it as we go. And this is going to be a real test of faith because, yeah, that's it. We already knew that we didn't qualify in a lot of parts of that situation. And so we said, okay, so if we're going to do this, faith without works is dead. Okay. That means we have to really approach this like we really looking for a house. We can't sit here and say, oh yeah, we're looking for a house, but we never get a realtor. We never get a broker. We never go through any of the process. We're just like, oh, we're just looking. We're just going to go on our own and look. No. Okay. So I said, all right, so let's make a decision right now that we are now going to look for a home to buy, not a house to rent. That's the first thing. Let's actually make that decision now. And let's stick to the decision that we make until we hit the brick wall, if that is the case. So we agreed to do that. We prayed on it. And then we both started looking. We were literally in our little office that was in our master bedroom at the time. And he was at one computer and I was at another computer. He was checking our credit scores and all that kind of jazz. And I was looking for homes that I think I would like. You know, he was also checking to see what was the main amount for the VA GI Bill and all that type of business stuff. So we're working. We're like back to back. I'm over here looking and he's over there looking. Okay. And our daughter at the time, 19, one of those. She was 18 or 19. Must have been 18. Yeah, she was 18. So she was 18. She wasn't 19 quite yet. She was 18. And so we told her, hey, this is what's going on. We're getting ready to try to find a house to buy. I want you to start looking for homes. I gave her my criteria. Like I said, we are used to looking for model homes and looking at all that stuff. That's what we do. All my daughters, they all love model homes and stuff because, you know, their mama. And so what I did is I gave her a list of the, you know, qualifications for a home. the criteria of what I thought I wanted. I did not, I know people say be realistic. You know, my husband, he said that at first too. He said, dude, let's be realistic. And I said, well, what is realistic to you? Because realistic to me is what I feel God can give me. And I feel he can give me the world if he want to. It's not a question of if he can, it's if he want to, right? So I said, well, your realistic expectations probably are different than mine just because we think differently, okay? Realistically, God has kind of spoiled me a bit. Or maybe my faith has spoiled me a bit. I don't know. I just have I just believe that he can do it. He can do it. I just feel that way. God has always kept me in very nice places. Maybe I'll insert some places I've lived. He just blesses me like that. He knows environment is very, very important to me. Very important to me. And he just decides to go ahead and give me the best. The creme de la creme. Okay? And so, shh, quiet. And so I gave my daughter the list. She went into her room, and in about 5, 6, 7 minutes later, she came out and she goes, Mom. She comes in the room and she goes, Mom, isn't this the house you were just looking at like a couple of months ago? And it was this house that I'm in right now, but it was the exact same layout, same exact home model as the one that I had looked at a few months ago. And I said, oh my God, yeah, it is. And so I'm looking through this thing, and she goes, Mom, they actually have an open house going on right now. Right? Odds on that. Odds on. What are the odds on us discussing it, saying, yes, we're going to go ahead and look for a house to buy. Start looking for a house to buy. And the house the house that I told God, Lord, I would like to have a house like this one day, is the exact house, is the exact same type of house that is for sale. So I looked at the price. I saw the price. My husband said, well, babe, they're probably not going to approve us for that much because, they have their limits of how much they approve you for and all that stuff, dealing with the VA, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, I respect that. But being that I have been trying to figure out the house layout for a long, long time now, I still want to go around there, since it's an open house right now, and check it out because it is itching me. It is itching me. I have to know what this house looks like in the inside. I have to know the layout of this house because I can't figure it out. Right? And I'm good with puzzles and stuff. So I'm like, it's bothering me so bad. It's been bothering me for months. I really want to know the layout of this house. Now, mind you, I was looking online, just like my daughter was looking online. I gave her the list of the criteria, to go in and specify square footage, bedroom size, bedroom amount, all that stuff. She had the exact same thing I had. I had been looking for a while and didn't see any of that. So the house, and I looked, you could pick the area, you could circle the area you want to check in. I had checked all of this area. That house did not come up, okay? But she came across that house. So I went, got my husband, we left them at the house, came over here, checked out the house. Beautiful home. I finally got to see how the layout is and all of that jazz. Checked it all out, looked at everything, talked to the realtor for a minute, and we asked him, do you think that they would lower the price, blah, blah, blah. He's like, no, they just put it on the market. They're not going to lower the price. Okay, so we pretty much just said, okay, we just chunked it up, got to give us something else, because this house was about a good $50,000 to $60,000 higher than what would be allowed. And it's insulting to try to offer a price that low, which is why I asked him, would they go lower? He was like, no. So once we saw this house, we were like, okay, now let's go and find us a realtor, because we're going to need some help to do all of this. We're going to need some help navigating all this crazy. So we found a realtor through a broker friend. Well, he's a friend now to my husband and I. We found a realtor through him, Maurice Watkins. If you're looking for a realtor, shameless plug, the best realtor, okay? Amazing. I just sum it up to say he's an amazing realtor, amazing person. He will find you a wonderful home and get you a good price. So if you are interested, I will leave his information below. And give me a call. Let me know. I'll send them right to you. Send them right to you or you to him, or however you want to do it. Okay? But we got our broker. We got our realtor. The broker we found, he works with veterans. That's what he does. And he got us approved for the amount that we needed. The realtor, Maurice, he was taking us around and we saw so many homes. We finally came upon one that we liked. It was by a lake. You know, y'all who know me know I like living by lakes and oceans, okay? And that was the closest thing I can get to an ocean or a lake was a little man-made lake. I was fine with that. I was like, oh, this is great. I can look out my bedroom window and see the lake. But the prices there, we did put in an offer, but the prices were too high. The tax was too high. The tax bracket was extremely high. HOA, extremely high. But it's way over our max budget for a home. And so this is like after 2 or 3 months of looking. Maybe three months of looking. Maybe 2 months of looking. So we finally saw another house that we liked. But it was in an area that I wasn't really familiar with, and I didn't really care for the area. It was way on the other, this is a whole nother little town. I didn't like the area, was unsure of it, but the house was brand new. So I was willing to kind of compensate because of that. But there was nothing wrong with that house. That house was fine. But it spoke to me, but it didn't speak to me, if you know what I mean. And so I feel like I'm glad now that I didn't get that house because I would have felt like I settled. Now, the house we're in right now, this house is probably about 20 years old, maybe. I don't know. Doesn't look it, but I know that it is. I know the year it was built. But from time to time, I would check just to see if this house was still available, you know. And it was. And same price and all that good stuff. So I would continue on my search. Now, about 2 months into looking for homes, I finally just kind of got tired and I said, okay, we got an offer in on that one. Let's just go with it. You know, we had been considering putting an offer in on that house. There was actually another house that we liked as well. And so I said, okay, well, let's just put an offer in on both and let's just see which one comes back. Okay. The one by the lake fell through, but the other new home, we were still waiting. It was like over a weekend. I happened to check again. I said, before I put this offer in, this is what I said before putting the offer in on the new home. Before I put the offer in, let me check one more time on this house right here. So I did. And lo and behold, they had dropped the price down like $50,000, $60,000. But I will count that as a blessing because it put them in the price bracket for us to be able to purchase. So as soon as I saw the house had dropped its price, I mean, I caught it on that exact day. I called my realtor and I said, hey, the house here, let me give you all the information, put an offer in. And he's like, we haven't seen that house. I said, yeah, me and Mike saw that house before we brought you on board and we want it. He said, well, all right. You know, now one thing I will say about my realtor, he's super prompt. He's on it. He's not one of those people where you text him or you email him or you whatever, and then 2, 3, 4 hours go by. Send him a text. He'll text you right back. If he don't text you right back, he must be doing something really, really, really super duper big, like giving a talk or with his wife. You know, I accidentally called him on his wife's birthday. He was out taking his wife out to eat, and he still answered the phone. I feel so bad afterwards. He was out trying to give her a nice night. No, I'm not. Don't play. He was out trying to give her a nice night on the town, and here I am calling, asking questions. Me and Mike on speaker. We both of us. We calling and asking him questions, and he's just answering our questions, just still being so respectful to us. And I know he was kind of like, Lord, them again. I know he had to be because I would have been. But anyhow, he sent in the offer. So now we have offer in 2 places. So we're like wondering which one's going to come back first. Because it's the weekend. It's Friday. They both come back. Accepting the offer. Paying all closing costs. All the kit and caboodle and chains and butterflies and whistles. They're both doing it. So now we have a choice. He said, which one do you want? Do you want that one? Or do you want that one? Of course, we went with this one. Because this is the one I told God I wanted. Right? Now, mind you, thank God they said they'd pay closing costs because we ain't got no closing cost money right now. Okay? We weren't prepared to do a full giant move like that. But closing costs paid. It was like the biggest blessing. When I say we moved into this house with nothing down, we moved into this house right now, this 6-bedroom, 5.5 bath house with nothing down. Not one red cent. Nothing. 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 I think the only thing we paid for was the inspection. I think that was it. Maybe we paid for the inspection. I think it was maybe $100 or something. I don't know. Anyhow, God is good, is my point. Don't be afraid to ask him for things. Don't be afraid to want. People say, oh, you want too much, you need to be satisfied. He said he'll give you more and more. Okay? There's nothing he doesn't have. Why are you limiting him? Don't limit him. If he said he'll give it to you, or to at least ask, what's the problem? Go ahead and ask. Just ask. Just ask and see what happens. Just ask and see what happens. Okay? I believe in asking. Okay? He got diamonds, gold, and jewelry and everything else. He made it all. I mean, it's not hard for him to make it. It's not hard for him to get it. Why we have a problem asking for it, I don't understand. I don't have no problem. And it's not because I'm ungrateful. It's just because I know that he can. Why not? It's not going to hurt him to give me more. Right? So anyhow, that's how we got into this beautiful home. And like I said, it does need some work. But over time, we'll get it done. But I'm happy with it. And that's saying a lot coming from me, because I'm pretty picky. Now, are there some things I would like to change? Yeah. Would I like to bust out a few walls and make certain things a little bit bigger or shaped a different way? Yeah. Will it happen in the future? Hopefully. We'll see. I don't know. But I'm grateful. I have a home. My kids have space. This whole coronavirus thing hasn't really affected us in a real bad way as far as being in our home. I know some people are getting homesick, meaning like they don't want to be home because their dwelling is too small and all that stuff. I've lived in smaller homes. I've lived in condos. I understand. With the kind of children I have, space is a necessity. Okay? And it's nice because of the courtyard. They can go and just hang out in the courtyard if they want to. And they're outside. They can look up and see the sky. There is literally an outside space in the middle of the home. So, and they can sleep and camp out or whatever they want to do because there's no access to getting outside from there. So it's very nice and safe for them. I really feel like God just made this house for me. This is my house. And everyone who lives here, they're just, they're visiting. I'm kidding, honey. Don't take this seriously. But no, I really believe that God heard my prayer that day. And I didn't even know that he was really listening that hard, But I believe in speaking into existence, not to the universe. I'm going to speak it to the God that made the universe. That's what I'll do. And he heard me. He heard me and he made it real personal. He said, yeah, I'm going to give you the house. You said you like that house? This is our first home. We were first-time home buyers, okay? First-time home buyers. And God blessed our little socks off. So I'm very grateful. I don't believe there's anything too hard for God. Sometimes when things are not done, there's a reason. There's a reason he doesn't do it. But it's never because he can't. That's just my feeling on it. I don't believe there's anything he can't do. That's what makes him God, right? So if you are believing God for something, if you're hoping he's going to bless you, don't give up on that dream. I've been wanting a house since I was a child. When we get our Barbie doll dream house, right? I've been wanting a home all my life. We had to move a lot growing up. And I always used to just look at the houses and, or even when I would go back home to my grandpa's home, I just loved his little house because it was the only staple, like solid foundation in my life. Like that was the one place I knew I can go to at any time for any reason. And I knew that he would be there. And if he wasn't there, he'd be back. because that was his home. I didn't have to worry about, oh, is he going to move and all that. We knew, no, he's not moving nowhere. This is it. That's it. And until he left this earth, that was it, you know? And so for me, having a home is really symbolic of a lot of good things. Stability is number one. I'm not one to like to be unstable. I don't like instability. I want to be stable. Sorry, I'm scratching my hair itch, you guys. My scalp itch. So that's that. But don't be afraid to ask God for things, even if you think it's too big or you don't feel you're worthy or whatever the case may be. If, don't give up on the dream. Sometimes your dream may tarry, as he says. Sometimes it may take a while. Sometimes it may take years. I looked at model homes for years. I looked at model homes as far as back as I can remember. I remember when I didn't have a car, I would get on the bus and find the model homes. This is before all the online stuff was popping. And I would see a model home somewhere and get off the bus and have to wait a whole nother hour just so I could go see that model home. That's how much I yearned for a home of my own. So for me, God doing this for me is just the clearest sign, as always, that he hears me, and that it may not be something that comes right away, but he will do it. And guess what? Nobody can get the glory for this. Nobody can say, I can't sit here and say, well, I was a doctor with a PhD and I had $30,000 saved up, and my husband can't say that. And no, we did not. Sometimes God will wait until you're in a position where you have to give him the glory for it. There's no way you could try and take credit for it, because he know that you were not in that position to do that. And that is definitely the position that we were in this situation. We were unaware that we were going to have to move. We did not have the finances to put down X amount on this and escrow and closing costs and 10% down and all this stuff. We were in none of those positions. We were completely at God's mercy and will. Okay. And I'm glad he did it that way. I'm glad he did it that way for two reasons. One, I love a good testimony. Two, I think he knew that I would give him the glory for it. I'm not one to try to act like I'm just so, I got it all together. No, I don't. Okay. I need him every step of the way. I am nothing without him, and I'm no fool, and I know that. Okay. So yeah, we're paying the mortgage by God's grace. It's God who gives the job too. It's God that wakes you up and lets your heart beat, to let you be here, to breathe, to live, to love, to see, to cherish, to all that. Okay, so we ain't did nothing. He does it all. And that's the whole point of this story, is that do all you can. Faith without works is dead. And thank God I had enough faith to go after it, right? Because if I wouldn't have had that, then I would have never got it, because my faith was needed also, along with God's miracles, in my opinion. And God will put the right people in your path to help you, which he did with my broker and my realtor, and the right situation and the right circumstance and the right time. And I looked back in time to see when a house over here, because the house layout of this house layout is a very unique house layout, and not a lot of houses have it out here. It's actually a small little community that have these houses. And I looked at all of the houses like this to see when they sold. Most of them haven't sold for years, so the owners are not selling. And the house that I saw 5 months prior to that was the only house that had sold like this in years. Like there's maybe one or two, but it's not a house that just sells all the time. And so God's planning was perfect. I feel, here's my theory. God allowed for the owner of the house that we were in to get this unction to that he felt he needed to be back in his house, so that God could bless us with this house, because we weren't going to do it on our own. We were comfortable. We were comfortable renting. We liked the house we were in. We enjoyed the neighborhood we were in. We were fine. We had no intention. We had gotten into a comfortable situation where we felt we're good. We don't need to do anything. No, we don't own it, but oh well. And God had to literally come and shake us out of that house in order to push us toward our little destiny, because we were not doing it on our own. I wasn't looking online for houses to buy until we discovered we had to move. We were forced to move. And so being that that was the case, I feel like God set that all up at the right timing for us to get this house. Now, as far as price goes now, the housing market has jumped up. I don't know what it is right now, but when I checked last time, we got a good, it's over the 500,000 for this house right now. So it was like a little wormhole was made for us to jump through, you know? God made a little magic window that he made everything, he aligned everything into the situation, allowed us to jump through it, and then everything went back to normal. Because there was no reason this house should have been $60,000 cheaper than what it was. It should have been more than what they had listed it for. But because God is so good and he listens to our prayers, we got the house for a good price. We know that God is the one that gave us the house. The first thing we did when we came in was prayed and worshiped and thanked him. We had communion. We hugged. We almost cried. We walked around in awe for days. Just pure bliss of, oh my God, you know, that's the best feeling when God just knocks your socks off. There's nothing better than that. that's the ultimate high, when God just says, look, bow, and just knock all your whole socks off, knock your wig off, all of it. Just like, wow, look what God can do. You know, it's amazing. I'm grateful. He did so much in that time period to where I had to write it down. Like I have a book around here somewhere. I got to find it, and all these other books behind me, where I wrote down all the things he did over that period of time. And it was just, the list was so long. So anyhow, I've talked for almost 40 minutes now. I'm sure most of you have logged out. If you have stayed on and to this point right now, leave me a comment and say, I saw it to the end, because I would love to see who's actually seen this to the end. So anyhow, I'll end it right there. Just saying, you guys, don't give up on your dreams, your hopes, all that stuff. You know, keep your faith, meaning keep doing what you're trying to do to get there. Don't let up. If God puts a desire in your heart, and it's nothing, you know, if God puts the desire in your heart, because God will give you your heart's desire, right? Go for it. Go for it. Do the best you can. And then I pray that he'll back you up. That's what he did with me. So that is it. I'm going to let y'all go because I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm super greasy. Super greasy from all my oils. I have the most oiliest skin in the world, y'all. My daddy did it to me. My dad has oily skin too. I'm gonna go find me something to eat. I'm gonna go put some kids in bed. I'm gonna come in here and clean up my craft room and hang my little pink robe up next to my green robe over there in the corner. And yes, I have room robes. And I'm gonna finish it tomorrow. I just wanted to try it on, like I said. That's why it's still like, you can see all the frays and all that. So I'll finish it on the serger tomorrow, but I wanted to try it on and see if I liked it, if I was happy with it. I'm gonna finish cleaning. Maybe make some kale soup. That sounds good. With some potatoes in it, some bacon. That sounds good. So maybe I'll do that. Put these kids to sleep and maybe watch me a good movie or something. And I hope you guys are having a good day, night, morning, whenever you're watching this. I hope that you stay in faith. I know times are hard right now. I know the situation is so horrible. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. If you are in Christ, if you do not know the Lord Jesus Christ, get to know him. Borrow a Bible, find a Bible, go online and listen to the free Bible audiobook. Get to know Jesus, because it is direly important that you do. Okay? There's no one like him. There's no one like him. I can't even get into it without boo-hooing and crying. God has been so good to me. He has shown me so much mercy, so much joy. You know, thank God he got to me when I was young. I was a child. I was 5 years old. The first time I knew for my own self that God was real. And I'm not going to preach to y'all right now. But if you don't know him, Do what you can to get to know him. Don't base if you want to know him off of what other people have done, because other people didn't die for you. Other people didn't sacrifice for you when it comes to him. People can sometimes pollute something, you know? Now, if I had $100 bill and I dropped it in the mud and tried to give it to you, you'd still want it. You would just take it and rinse it off. You wouldn't turn it down, though. And so what I'm asking you to do is understand that God has value, even if some people try to tarnish him and taint him. Okay? Take what you heard, what you think, and all that stuff, and just wash that out of your brain and just get in the word by yourself. You know, if you don't trust people's judgments, just get in there get in God's word for yourself. You know, get in there for yourself. That is the best way to get to know God, is to get in there for yourself. Yes, Grandmama Nim and all them can tell you anything and everything that they want about him, but they're telling you from their standpoint, their point of view, from what they know. Get in there so you can know him for yourself. That way, when people tell you things, your spirit will bear witness with that or not. Get saved, get born again, do the best you can. That is that is what I say to you. Get your life right with God, because you see where this world is going. You see how crazy it is. And please know that there is one. Okay? Don't pray to the universe. Pray to the God who made the universe. There's a difference. Okay? Anyhow, I'm going to go. And I will chat with y'all later. Remember to stay wrapped in scraps, meaning stay recreating yourself, recreating your goals, your attitude. Sometimes you have to adjust your attitude, adjust your mood, adjust who you're dealing with. Just constantly keep creating something new out of something old, okay? Repurpose, recycle, reuse your mind, your thoughts, your body, everything. Let's keep ourselves up, feeling good, thinking well, living well, loving well, all that good stuff, okay? Stay loving you. Stay loving God. Stay loving life. And I will see you